It is 9 o'clock, and I'm in for Manolfi, which means you get a fourth Facebook Live with me. I hope that's cool. I hope you're good with that. I brewed up a special cup of coffee. You don't have to drink coffee. I called it Coffee Talk because that's what I feel like I call every one of these Facebook broadcasts. But and it's a little more appropriate when I talk to you at 8 o'clock in the morning, you know? But this is fine. Hanging out with you. It's 9 o'clock. And we're chatting about the weather. You could be drinking an adult beverage or a nice cup of tea. For me, I am usually in bed at this point, so I'm going to do everything I can to stay awake. Let's take a look outside and see what's doing right now. There's a shot over at the Kennedy Space Center. They are putting another piece on their Starship launch tower this evening. So, been watching some of the construction going on out that way. Melbourne, camera's a little dark, but it's nice. Cocoa, camera's a little dark, but it's nice. New Smyrna's down. All right, downtown Orlando, you're looking pretty nice. Had some rain earlier, but that rain has moved on out. Now it's just nice, tranquil, quiet evening. Let's look up toward our first warning live Doppler radar tower off toward downtown Orlando, a nice clear sky. And last but not least, in downtown, we're looking pretty nice. You can see the last bit of the sunset. You can see the last little bit of color there on the horizon. The sun technically went down just about an hour or so ago. First warning live Doppler radar is rain-free. Too late for coffee, unless you're like me and you just got to force your way through. First warning live Doppler radar is rain-free for now, at least for the most part. We take in a little bit, had some earlier showers that have all faded on out, and that certainly is the good news. But look at the wider perspective. Was it an active day or what? We had showers turned to thunder showers and then had big nasty storms just lined up on the west coast. It was an active day, yeah. And of course, looking ahead to this evening, the weather continues to quiet down. When we look to the overall forecast, we are going to have a lovely setup for us for tomorrow. It's going to be a nice sunny start. We'll wake up to temperatures in the 70s across town. We'll get to the neighborhood by neighborhood forecast, but 70s tonight. We'll get to about 81 degrees, 9 o'clock in the morning. Of course, we'll be chatting on Coffee Talk at 8 o'clock in the morning. 92 degrees by 2 p.m. and we start to see those showers and those thunder showers firing right up. Nancy asks, so to what do we owe this special broadcast? I'm in for Manolfi. So he does his Facebook Live. I think he does it at 8 o'clock, but I've been relaxing for a couple of minutes. I'm using you as a way to try and wake up so that I can get psyched for the 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock broadcast because I'm usually in bed by this point. Hey, Trina, how are you? Good evening to you. Nope, about to have a cup of coffee. Okay, so you're doing the cup of coffee thing too. Any rain for Palm Coast tomorrow, Patty's asking? Well, we do have the 50% coverage of showers and storms, but to whom do we see the rain? Let me find the Futurecast model. It's in here somewhere. There it is. I keep passing it. Okay. All right, so All right, so here we are. Notice 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, we're fine. Tomorrow, by the way, the last day of summer vacation for so many Central Florida students. So we have to try and find a way to enjoy. We have to try and find a way to get that last bit of summer vacation. Nancy says, thought it was a hurricane. No, and by the way, since we're talking about extended coverage, we are going to be doing extra coverage on Wednesday morning. So I'm nights today, transitioning tomorrow, and then mornings on Wednesday. I'm helping with the Sunrise team. So we'll be, and I'm doing like many Facebook Lives, like every couple of minutes. I'm gonna be on Facebook for a while, and then I'll be on, we're gonna work that out, but there's gonna be plenty of Facebook Lives. So Wednesday morning for the back to school thing, we'll be doing Facebook Live. The coat's making you laugh, Tim. It is so flipping cold in this studio, I cannot even explain it to you. Seriously, it's got to be like 20 degrees in here, right? Yeah. It's not really 20 degrees, but good gravy. I mean, I feel like the station could crank it up a notch or two. All right. So 8 o'clock in the morning is looking good. Lunchtime, a couple of passing showers. You can see, though, we're getting things going by about 3 o'clock. couple of popcorn showers getting going, a couple of thunder showers by about 4 o'clock. I'll be doing WESH 2 News at noon tomorrow. I was originally scheduled for the 4, but now that I'm doing the morning show on Wednesday, yeah. 5:36, storms kind of working into our western area, Sumter Lake, Marion County. And then notice 7, 8 o'clock, you get, once again, just like today, you get the bigger storms just shoving out west. So, yeah, there's going to be some rains around. But again, focusing on the West Coast, did have several severe thunderstorm warnings today, mainly just outside of the WESH 2 coverage area over near the Nature Coast, though we did have Marion County under a severe thunderstorm warning briefly today. I had to do a cut-in during Ellen, I believe it was. Tina says, just did meet the teacher tonight for my 8th grader. Oh my goodness, what excitement. My teacher wife is going through not the withdrawals, but like all the feels of that summer vacation coming to an end. Jamie says, yeah, no sleep the next few days. Ain't that the truth? Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. How's the weather for the movies tomorrow at Disney? Anthony's asking. So we've got that 50% coverage of showers and thunder showers for tomorrow. So as long as you plan for that, you're good to go. You know? I just want to make sure. Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure that I got the latest update. All right. So that's Futurecast. Any questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise?
Yeah, it's warm in here.
It's warm in here? You're such a putz. Roberto says it's warm in here. It's because he sees me wearing the goofy jacket.
It's not goofy.
It's warm. I'm so cold in here. Man. So yeah, Anthony, showers and storms. Let's see, here's Tony off. Yeah, Brian, Tony's off. Tony's enjoying a couple more days of vacation. I was just but the man on vacation, I was just chatting with on the phone today. We were talking weather. So, he's like me. It doesn't matter. You're on vacation, you're off vacation. You can't take the nerd out of the weather nerd, When will Port Orange area see any rain? We've been dry for so long. Well, you can clearly tell tomorrow's really not going to be your day. If we look ahead to Wednesday, let me just fast forward this through. If you look at Wednesday, it's the same kind of idea. Oh, good gravy. You're fighting me. All right, so here's Wednesday. Notice on Wednesday again, most everything's inland, and Wednesday's overall coverage is actually looking to be pretty low. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're going to start to work up that moisture a little bit. Yeah, you can see the Futurecast kind of stops at that point. Eventually, is that an acceptable response? Everything right now is focused on the West Coast, frankly. So that's going to be your struggle. Friday. Just running through long-range Futurecast like there. Saturday, if anything, it looks like Saturday you're going to at least favor a little bit more rain. That's something. Just the thermostat when a boss isn't looking, Yukon says. You know what's so funny? Let me explain to you. Maybe there is a thermostat somewhere, but what I've been told, and I've worked here for forever, is that it's a computer. And like maybe there's a computer locked in a room. It's like the Matrix or something. But they always tell us we've made an adjustment on the computer. And as long as I started, my first time on the air at WESH was in 2007. And I feel like consistently since 2007, I have heard we've made changes to the air conditioner, and I have not felt said changes to the air conditioner. So I don't know. Oh, Tim says, can't you just adjust the temperature in the office via a graphic or something? I see what you're doing there. That's pretty funny. Oh, boy. All right. What's with the Invest in the Tropics? So that's where we are right now. Before we get to the tropics, there's plenty to talk about there. That's where we're at now. Let me show you the 7-day forecast, then we can move on to the tropics. Sound good? 50% coverage of showers and storms for tomorrow. 30% chance for Wednesday. Back to school looks to be just a little drier.
Did you like that hot cocoa, sir?
I just brewed a hot coffee. You want some coffee?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I want to sleep tonight.
See, I'll still go to sleep.
Thank you, you're so kind.
I've got you, Bubala. At church, we have a computer. I have access to it, but I don't understand the complete software. Maybe they don't understand it either. Like I said, since 2007, it's been freezing. It's been freezing in here. And that's just since I've been here. I'm sure if we asked other people, like Jim Payne, he's been here for 100 years longer, I bet he'd say the same thing. Okay, so that's where we're at. Any questions, comments, concerns? Just to beat this point in, a little bit drier for Wednesday, first day of school. Clouds will be building, sure, but that morning commute for the kids, especially if it's the little ones and it's their first day and all the nerves. Oh my gosh, I remember that. It's looking fine. Now the afternoon, hopefully we don't have many rainy day dismissals on the first day of school and the first day of classes, right? But there will probably be some schools that have to do the rainy day dismissal on that first day. I remember my first day of kindergarten at Redbug Elementary, we had rainy day dismissal back in the 80s, which when I say that out loud, it's really something. Okay, all right, enough of that. Let's talk about the tropics, shall we? To Invest 97 we go. It's getting its sea legs. These kinds of things, they don't just come out of nowhere. They don't just get feisty and do their thing. Here's a look at the satellite, the tropical satellite. And remember, it was a monsoonal piece of energy, but now that it's over water, it kind of has to relearn things. So it's that area there that we're watching. Invest 97, it's moving pretty quickly at about 21 miles an hour. It's not organized as of yet. Pressure's at 1010 millibars, so that's not a thing. But over the course of the next 5 days' time, Hurricane Center gives it a 40% likelihood, a medium chance of developing into a tropical depression or a tropical storm or a hurricane, something to that point. So yeah, it's the first feature that we've watched in quite some time. Gradual development is possible here, okay? We've got plenty of time to watch that. Plenty of time. Now we're going to look at the models and all that fun stuff in just a couple of minutes, okay? Get one of those old space heaters to plug in. We had one for a while, and then it popped a breaker, and like half the studio monitors didn't work, and obviously that's important. Then for a while we had a radiator, and when we moved to this new studio, or this new set, they took it away. Oh well. Yukon says, thank you, Eric. Miss being on the morning coffee talk regularly, but life is happening, work, etc. God bless all. Listen, Yukon, you come when you can, you don't when you can't. Life is important. You know, life is the most important thing. So we're not judging you. Okay? All right, so there it is. That's where the system is right now. Computer forecast models. Now that it's an Invest, we are running intensity models. We are running forecast spaghetti plots. Oh gosh, it's that time of year. Here's a look at the spaghetti models, and generally off to the west-northwest. There is an opportunity for it to be strengthening. You know, the Saharan dust stays a little further to the north, so this, if anything, has an opportunity to get its act together. Brian says, I'm going to have a question for you here in a minute. I tried to Tony, but he didn't know the answer. Stand by. Oh, boy. Brian, you're going to try and throw a doozy at me, buddy? Just know I'm not usually awake this late. Like, usually at this point, I'm showered and I'm in bed and I'm falling asleep. So if I'm not on my A game, don't judge me. Oh, very cool, Vanessa. Very cool. Best of luck to you. Karen, what part of the LRC is it? Well, we'll show you all the data here in just a couple of minutes. All right, one piece at a time. All right, so that's a look at the spaghetti model plots. We should be getting new data here in the next couple of minutes' time. Intensity models on this bring it to tropical storm strength, and most of the models either bring it right up to hurricane strength or into hurricane strength. Okay, actually, it looks like new models are coming in right now. Stand by. I just want to look and see if what I'm showing you on the screen is the new model data. That is the new model data. Okay. So yeah, so the new model data brings it up to, yep, that's the new model data. And let me just make sure that I'm looking at the new spaghetti plots. Stand by. That's the intensity, so that's the 0Z. Let me look at the 0Z spaghettis. Yep, okay, so that's new model data. Very cool. All right, so that's it. So you saw it right as I was seeing it for the first time. So that's the idea. Now, what about the global models, right? So we can take a look. This is the latest version of the GFS. If you're new, by the way, to our Coffee Talks, and again, we do this, I am live now, Debbie. Yes, this is actually live. So this is what is this? This is the 18Z run of the GFS. It's the most recent run of the GFS. So we've looked at the 12 live, or the 0Z live. We've looked at the 12 live. I skipped the 18Z because I was tracking storms. But let's just roll this through time. Right where it says current temp 82, that's where the model puts this on Thursday, trying to develop it. There's Sunday, this is 12Z, so that is Sunday morning at 8 a.m., right where it says talk in Coffee Talk, near the islands, near the Caribbean islands there, all right? Keeping it just north. Now, I will say this is the 18Z. If I go back one model run, two model runs, you see how what we're looking at there, that's the 6Z run. So that's what we showed on Coffee Talk. That had a 994 low. If we go to the current model run, it's weaker and it's a little closer to the Caribbean islands. So that's an interesting little thing that just noticed. All right, it's weak and weakening. And it's hanging out right there. You see it's near Bermuda. All right, that's Wednesday, August 17th. And it's out near Bermuda. And then kind of lifting to the north. You see it there off the coast of Nova Scotia, not really doing much. Yeah. So according to at least the GFS, this is not going to be a major player in the overall world. Do I have creamer in my coffee? I do. I can't do coffee black. I'm not a strong enough person. Debbie says, what are the chances that I catch your night updates? Happy to see the group. I'm happy to see everybody. I don't normally do these at night, but I'm in from Amalfi, so you get it. We're all together. All right, there's the 22nd, the 23rd. Look at that, though. Something else in the tropics, right? Way out there, near where it says current temp 82. And that one looks to be a bit stronger, 984. Well, that'll be fun, not, right? And then if I back this up a little bit, you can kind of see, like near the mid-Atlantic, you see that right there? That's the 22nd. If you look in the mid-Atlantic, the 22nd. Now, the reason that I'm pointing that out is just because if we, and again, this is model data, so as we always say, computer models are guidance, not gospel. But if you use the LRC, you know that the 24th, 25th, we should be watching the Mid-Atlantic. The 26th, 27th, 28th, we should be watching Florida. So let's do this. Let's pull up the BSR. This is yet another long-range technique that I use. And what this does, think of this as a way to check your work, okay? So computer models are guidance, not gospel, but they are a tool to be used. What this is you're looking at an actual weather map at the Bering Sea up there in Alaska. And what you do is you transpose the United States map over a section of sea there, and that kind of gives you a mirrored look at what the weather will be 2.5 weeks or so later when it's down here. So what you're looking at there is a surface image from August the 5th. That translates out to being the 22nd of August, okay? High pressure near us, a little storm system up near New Jersey, all right? Maybe a little storm system out in the Gulf. But what ends up happening is we start to watch these little, kind of a couple little low features near Florida. You see near Southwest Florida there. That is the 7th of August, which is the 24th of August. 24th of August, watching the Mid-Atlantic. There's a storm system near the Mid-Atlantic. And then the 26th or so around Florida, well, you can kind of see, there's that little low there right near Florida, right there. And guess what that day is? The 8th. That's the 25th. So maybe a day earlier. But suffice it to say that the BSR is indicating activity around the mid-Atlantic and around the Northeast in that time frame. So the way I look at it is that for now, to me, that's the time frame that we need to be watching. All right? Here we are. Today is August 8th, so we're kind of approaching the real uptick in tropical activity. We have thus far had 3 named tropical systems. Last year through today, we had 5. The average through today is 3.4. Usually it's about the 14th of August that you get, normally, your 4th named tropical system. I need to fix this graphic. It's just ugly as sin. It just needs to get adjusted around a little bit, and I'll do that. But yeah, so anyway, we're tracking the tropics. There are some things to watch, but for now, no threats to us. All right, and that's kind of where we're at. Invest 97. Any questions, comments, concerns? Anything? Charlie, August 13th. I will never forget Hurricane Charlie, August 13th. That was ironically, and if you're new to this, Hurricane Charlie is the reason that I have buy-in for the LRC at the station, because I case studied Charlie. Vanessa says, found out from a client at the salon that the guys at work that drive and work in the trucks with buckets from Duke Energy are getting weather alert radios installed as part of their working equipment. Oh, very cool, very cool. Virtual bar open for orders. Whereas Mary's usually opens the bar. Oh, that's funny. All right, Brian, weather history question. What's the record for least number of named storms during a hurricane season, and what was the year? How many storms were there? And names if possible. All right, Brian, I can do this. Give me a minute. Good question. What is the record for the least number of named storms during a hurricane season? Let me open up the database here. Activity by year. Named storms. I'm just going to start. I've seen 5. 4. 1983 had 4 named storms. Right now it's 4. I'm just going year by year. 1930 had 3 named storms. Am I reading this right? 1914 had 1 named storm? '14 had 1 named storm. Hard to beat that. Yeah, 1914 is it had 1 named storm the entire season. Yep. Ironically, yeah, 1 named storm. And here's a fun fact. The named storm days in 1914 were 3.25. We are sitting today on 3.25 as our named storm days. So there you go. There's your answer. 1914, Brian. Ask and you shall receive. Bet you didn't think I'd be able to get you that answer, huh? Sabir says, hey, I'm loving this nightcap coffee talk. Yeah. Aaron says, no satellites back then. We'll never know for sure. Right. If you want to go through just the satellite era, was that 1963-ish? 1960s? '83 had 4 named storms. Yeah. 1983 had 4 named storms. Yeah. In the satellite era, it would be 1983. Otherwise, it would be the other one. So there you go. What about the winning lotto ticket? I know. You like that, Nathan? Coming in with the cold hard facts. When you have the data, I'm a straight data nerd. And when you've got the data, I have a mug somewhere. It's like when you torture the data, you get the results you want. And it's like, you know, when you've got data, you can look at so many different elements. And that's what I love so much. The amazing Eric the Magnificent answering all weather questions for the cocktail crew. Is that what it is? Good gravy. I like that. Mr. Answer Wizard. Ah, Mr. Wizard. I love that. Nathan, now if I can only get you to openly say, bah, I'm not going to say it. You're still good in my book, Nathan. I still like you. That's just your one flaw. Kyle says the euro has done poorly with this invest. Will it start to pick up on it tonight, you think? Well, you know what? I don't even think, did we look at the euro? We didn't. Hold on. Let me pull it up. All right. Let's switch over to the euro. I didn't even look at it. That should tell you something. All right. I mean, yeah, it's granted the 18Z only goes out 90 hours, so we'll go to the 12Z. It's not. It's struggling. The thing is that's interesting is there's going to be this like frontal thing that's happening in the deep south. So there's the euro, and you see the greens over like the deep south and the mid-Atlantic. There's going to be this little frontal thing that both the GFS, you could see it there in the green, and the European are indicating. And so I think that that's tripping up the models. It's just trying to figure out the interaction going there. You know? It'll be interesting. Coffee talk turned cocktail talk. There you go. I need to win the Friday coffee talk drive-thru again. Well, when we do the quiet season, yeah, when we get to the quiet season, we'll have to get that going again. When did they start using named storms? They just named them like Hurricane 2, for example. Yeah, exactly. I don't. Let me look. A simple Google search says 1953. So there you go. Can't wait for the fall countdown once school's back. Yeah, fall countdown. I mean, you know, we've got on the graphic here, fall begins September 23rd, although meteorological fall begins September 1st. Ann's asking, is Eric Jr. ready for VPK next year? Yeah, he technically, I think, already started it today. He was in his VPK class today. Can't wait for the fall countdown, though. Yep. I'm watching Grease in memory of Olivia Newton-John. May she rest in peace. Brian, I'm sending that for sure. I was listening to the Grease soundtrack in the Weather Center today. I'm not going to lie. That's a tough pill to swallow. Olivia Newton-John passes away. Can I just say, when I worked at WPBF in West Palm, I got a chance to meet her. She was my first crush. Did I ever tell you guys this? Not that you care, but Olivia Newton-John was my first crush. And, you know, when you meet somebody that holds that position in your mind, or anybody of importance, it's like when I met Dave Matthews, I was actually flipping speechless because I didn't know how to talk. Because this is a guy that I just, like, I live, eat, breathe his music. And so anyway, I was pathetic. When I met Olivia Newton-John, she was so kind and so sweet. She was everything you would have loved somebody that meant a lot to you to be. You know what I mean? Like, she was Olivia Newton-John. And she was amazingly sweet. I saw a friend of mine who I used to work with at WPBF. I didn't get a picture with her, but she took some pictures. I just didn't want to be that guy, and that's okay. But when it was a friend, Melissa, she used to direct at Channel 25 in West Palm, and Melissa posted the picture, and it's just like, it brought me right back to that moment because I remember being there, seeing Olivia Newton-John just walking in the studio, and it's like, oh my God, that's Olivia Newton-John, you know? She was so kind. She took pictures with everybody. I just didn't want to be that guy. And not to say that that's a problem, but that's just my thing. But anyway, so she was so kind to all of us people that just were nerding out at meeting her. She was so sweet. And from what it sounds like, she was that way to everybody who ever worked with her, and everybody knew her. So it's just that much more sad when you find out that somebody who was kind, you know, I mean, she's so kind. It lets you know she was everything you wanted her to be. Anyway, so rest in peace to her, her family. May they know that she's no longer in pain. You know, whatever that, I know that she had been battling cancer for quite some time. When's Tony coming back? Manolfi? I don't know. I think he's coming back Saturday. I think he's working because we have Bucks preseason, I think he's working Saturday. So yeah, so he's got this week off, and then he's back Saturday, so you'll see him Saturday. I think you've got Cam the rest of the week, because they got to get me into mornings for Wednesday, so it's like that step down thing. Casey, you met Dave Matthews? I did. I met Dave Matthews, and I couldn't speak. I know you either love him or you hate him, and some of you may love him, some of you may not love him, but that man, very few people I think would truly silence me, and I was silenced. So yeah, but yeah, got a chance to meet Dave. One of the coolest moments of my life. Nathan says, Eric, I think we're close in age, and I'm right there with you. Olivia was one of my first crushes. Same with Farrah Fawcett. Oh, Farrah, absolutely. Olivia was just 100% it. But I'm, nerdy guy, liked the nerdy girl, oh well. I didn't know she battled cancer for that long. I think the article I read said she battled breast cancer for 30 years. Yeah, I know that it had been just a long fight. So, Debbie, when does Jeannie start classes? She starts class. She's been in her classroom all last week and all this week. Her classes start Wednesday. And she posted just the most beautiful pictures. I didn't even get a chance to see Jeannie this evening. But, classes start on Wednesday for her. And of course, it's like one of the most stressful days of the year. And hey, Jeannie, I know that it's already stressful for you, but I'm going to go into work early to do team coverage with the Sunrise crew. Adding a little bit more to her, so, oh well. Hey, when you're married to me, always keep it interesting, right? Bruce says, I'm getting nervous. Too many people near my age are dying. You know what, though? I don't think it matters how old you are, Bruce, because I would say the same happens in my, I'm 38, and I see people my age passing. I just think the older we get, that's just that tough part of reality, When I was talking to my father earlier today, and it was like, my father has already outlived his parents. That's got to be some gravity, Catherine says you're working overtime today. We're happy to see you during the evening. Thank you very much. Yeah, a little bit. Agreed. Bless her for being so strong. She was such an advocate for cancer and for fighting cancer. Brian, on both a personal and professional level, who was your biggest influence in the meteorology field, and who inspired you to be a meteorologist? You know what's funny, Brian? I've talked about this before. There was a guy in town here in Orlando. I think he worked at every TV station but this one. His name was Danny Trainer. I feel like it's okay to say because he doesn't work in TV anymore. But Danny got me into weather, because not even that he was a meteorologist, like nerd into the maps, but he just had this way about him to be able to talk and to keep you calm and to keep you comfortable. And that, honest to God, is what I want out of my entire career. That's all I have ever wanted. That's why I fight so hard to keep you informed. And I work more than I probably should. And my wife knows it more than anyone, but that's why, yeah. So I would say, honest to God, it was Danny. And then after that, it was learning from Dr. Hope on the Weather Channel and getting the chance to talk to Manolfi so much. Manolfi worked with John Hope, and so to hear these Hopeisms that he learned, and it's just this osmosis. I really love learning. And I would say my long-range forecasting has reinvigorated my interest in it. So, yeah, it's been a thing. I met Adam Sandler during his SNL days. I was 16. Gave me a $50 tip and an autograph that read, Mike, you rule the busboy industry. Dude, that's awesome, Mike. Love that. Nathan says, I think when I hit 30, that's when I truly realized that, wow, life is short. I've got one life to live, so I've got to live it up. Sounds cliche, but the Dirty 30 did it for me. You know, I think though, I don't think you're that wrong, Nathan. I think for me, when I started seeing people that are my age passing away, or my parents' age passing away, it started to occur to me, like, my father is so lucky to be alive, and there are people his age that have passed away, and his parents passed away when they were younger. And I think that you realize that every day you kind of, don't, you're not guaranteed it. So, I mean, just look at Olivia Newton-John. She passed so young. So yeah, I think that the more I live, the more I realize I've got to live. And you know what? If somebody wants to judge me, like I got the nasty email. I got a nasty work email today from a viewer, and it's like, you know what? If this guy wants to judge me, I sent him a nice snarky response back. He actually wrote LOL on a response. So, yeah. But you got one life to live. Nothing matters but you and what makes you happy, and you have to work to that, right? Isn't that what we have to do? So I would agree, Nathan. At some point in my 30s, when I started seeing, people going, it's like, oh, there's an end to this. And this is the only, I do what makes me happy, and I do what makes my heart full. Chris over on YouTube, good morning. Have a great evening. You as well, Rita. I'm on 58 and on borrowed time. I think we all are, I think we all are. Catherine, Eric, my dad asks about your dad daily. Make sure he's doing okay. He was so invested when your father was sick earlier. God is good, and I'm glad your dad as well. Thank you, Catherine. He's taking it one day at a time. He's had quite an uphill battle, but my father showed up to my son's birthday party this weekend. It was Dad's first public appearance since he went into the hospital in December of last year. It was only his third time doing anything. He went to lunch last week to Boston's Fish House, his favorite. He went to my house for dinner Friday night for Carrabba's, and then to Alexander's party on Sunday. So, yeah, Linda, you're my father's. Probably within a year of you. Yeah, he's my father's in his early 70s as well. So yeah, kind of wild how that plays out. He's doing good, fighting the fight. That's why Mike says tomorrow is never guaranteed. That's why today is called the present. That is true. That is true. Nothing is guaranteed. My brother was killed in a military training accident at 22. I was diagnosed with cancer at 34, and thankfully it was thyroid, which wasn't life-threatening. Live life happily, nothing less. Darn straight. Yes. Thank you. We got one shot at this, so let's do this. Tina, I love it too. Oh my gosh, I love it too. All right, so there's our 7-day forecast. Any questions about it? Otherwise, I'm going to start getting prepped for our 10 o'clock broadcast. Don't you turn the lights up yet. Don't you remind me that newscast is only 20 minutes away. Don't you do it. Don't you get feisty, Roberto. You putz. I also love the people that I work with. Oh, now you're just getting feisty. All right. Yeah. Okay, enough. Listen, I won't be live at 6 a.m. because I won't. I'm going to post. I'll be awake enough to type a post tracking the tropics, but I'm not going to be awake enough to talk because I'm going to get home at midnight tonight, so I'm not going to be... The lights don't even warm us up like they used to, Jenny. They're the fluorescents now. They're LED. They're not the old kind that put out heat. Darn it. All right, listen, that's the 7-day forecast. I'm going to make some tweaks to everything and make sure that we have the latest model data and all that fun stuff for WESH 2 News at 10 on CW18 and, of course, at 11 on WESH 2. In the meantime, I will be posting through the rest of the evening, and 6 a.m. I will make a post about the tropics, but I will see you live at 8 a.m. for Coffee Talk, okay? All right, listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging with me and helping to keep me awake. Light the lights. This is it. This is it. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning live at 8, and then, of course, on TV here in about 20 or so minutes.